The issue is the political and economic system that you choose to adopt. So take the case of the West, for instance. The West is what we mean by the West is the advanced capitalist countries, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany in the middle of this, and so on. That's what we mean. We don't mean Latin America or Cuba, we don't mean those countries. Those are in the South, even though they exist on the West, even though there's a lot of so-called Western culture in these countries. We're talking about the advanced capitalist states. Now, in these advanced capitalist states, they have a commitment to private property, to the privileges of the few. That's the real commitment that's there in these societies. You can do whatever you want. You can say, we want to eradicate poverty, but none of your policies will touch the privileges and the property of the rich. There's something like 37, 38 trillion dollars sitting in illegal tax havens. These tax havens are in various small countries in the Caribbean, in Panama, in Europe, in Liechtenstein, and so on. If these countries were serious about eradicating the basic problems, they would go to the tax havens, knock on the door, and say, this money is illegal. It shouldn't be there. You must turn it over. Send the US Army to Liechtenstein to close down the banks there. You've got such a big army. You are fond of invading countries. Who do you invade? You invade weak countries which don't have tax havens. You invade countries which have oil. They invade countries which have, lithium. They do coup d'etats in these countries. They don't touch the countries where there are tax havens. You see, that's interesting to me. I can make a list of countries with tax havens. Why isn't there a coup d'etat in these countries? Why don't they do a coup in Liechtenstein to go and bring the money back in? Cayman Islands, bring the money back into circulation, productive circulation. No, because they can't touch property. Because that's the axiom of capitalism. You can't touch property. Property is more important than people's lives. So the question is at the heart. It's not the export of the US class structure globally. It's the export of capitalism globally that has created this malformation. You see, that's what's created this attitude. There's a factory here. I can just take the profits of the factory and I can put it into a tax haven, or I can build myself a house made of gold, or I can eat caviar every day. You're not even doing capitalism in a productive way, where you take the money, the profits, and reinvest it into something else. No, capital no longer wants to risk its investment. See, what do the rich do? The capitalist rich, they take the profits out of a firm, they keep it in a tax haven, or they buy a big house, they buy an island in the Caribbean, and they keep their wealth there. Then, when they want to do a new business, they go to the government banks or they go to banks and they say, lend us money to do business. Why? You already have all this money. Invest your own money. No, they don't. They are risk averse. They don't want to take a risk with their money. They want to take a risk with the public money. You see what's happening with the whole climate change business. Private capital understands that many of the lines of production in the West need to be modernized. Many of the lines. They know that carbon is not an efficient fuel for the future. Not only does it spew greenhouse gases and so on, but it's going to run out at some point. It's not good. They like the idea of renewables, but they don't want to finance it with their own money. They want public money to finance private capitalism. They want public money to modernize private capital. So they are trying to make the debate in not only in COP but in their own countries. COP is just the conference of parties who have signed on to a UN treaty. They are using the debate there and in their own countries to basically get public money to finance the modernization of private capitalism. That's crazy. We should use public money to lift up the sorrows of the people, not to finance private capitalism. Even the Bank of London joined with the Vatican to create an institute called a Council for Inclusive Capitalism. Council for Inclusive Capitalism. They are also calling for public money, government money to go for private business. Why? If you want private business, let them take risks in the public sphere. If these private business people are so clever, okay, they walk around, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, if they're so clever, risk your own money. Risk your own money in your ideas. Why do you need the public money to finance your ideas? There's something corrupt here. That's the problem. It's not east, west, or just something parochial about the United States. It's the attitude of capitalism in our period that's really to be investigated closely.